Britney Spears' conservatorship is back in the spotlight following the release of a new documentary. And today, the pop star will return to try to get it lifted or changed. Wendy Patrick joining us live to break it all down. Wendy, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning, Shelly.
I know there are some who are following Britney Spears and her journey more closely than others. Take us back and just talk about this whole situation, the scenario that Britney is in right now.
That's right. So, Shali, Britney is under a conservatorship, and we hear about celebrity conservatorships when something occurs in a celebrity's life. I mean, that is no easy life, but a conservatorship is usually reserved for circumstances where it's a complex legal arrangement if you have somebody that's old, ill, infirm, or otherwise unable to make the decisions for themselves. So just from that brief description, Shali, you can understand why this has been a little controversial ever since the inception in 2008. Not to mention the fact that many conservatorships are meant to be temporary. Britney has been under a conservatorship for many years, but you point out some of what's been in contention over the last several years. Who should the conservator be? Should it be her father? That is something that's going to be discussed, hopefully this week, again, in court.
I know up on social, there's this whole free Britney campaign going on. Why this long? I mean, for those who have followed Britney, we have gone up and down and seen different moments of her life that one may step back and say, is everything okay? But at this point, at the age that she's at, she's a mother of two children. She wants her own freedom and her life. Why this long?
That's the question, Shali. Why this long, particularly given her high functioning abilities? I mean, she posts, she tweets, she's been performing in Las Vegas. It is true that conservatorships are meant to protect the vulnerable, and particularly when you have a celebrity conservatorship, it really reflects the reality that fame is fortune. So it has a lot to do about managing money. I mean, think about this. I mean, all of her expenses are tracked, even her Starbucks runs. And you know what we've learned through this hashtag Free Britney movement? The New York Times has talked about the documentary Framing Britney Spears. Apparently we're learning she is more like the rest of us than we might have suspected. She likes Target and Walmart and 7-Eleven, and it has humanized her to such an extent that even she has spoken out recently saying, I would like to lead a normal life. How many of us cannot empathize with that, given how she grew up literally in the spotlight? I mean, she was 16 years old last I checked, and now she's 39. Where did all that time go? And shouldn't she be entitled to control her own life? That's the argument, Shali. Having said that, you and I and our viewers are not privy to all of the inside information that a judge is regarding the decisions around this conservatorship, but that will be revisited not only this week, but my prediction is on a consistent basis thereafter.
I think you just aged everybody right now, Wendy. 60 and 39. Everybody
years older.
Everybody is 2 years old. What? She's 39, but she is.
Can you believe it? Where did the time go, Shelley?
Where did the time go? Britney has said that she will no longer perform as long as her father is in charge. Why does she, I mean, I can imagine why she wants out. I think we know the answer to this. I can't imagine anybody wants to be controlled in this way, especially if you feel like you've made that growth and your life has changed and it's your money, right?
Well, here's what's interesting about that question, Shali, and I'm glad you asked. She has conceded in the past that there is a positive benefit for the conservatorship. However, the contention she's making now is her father should not be in charge. There is somebody else that's also involved, and there have been others in the past, but she's really zeroing in on who should control her finances, her decisions. But as you point out, I mean, particularly in light of the fact that she's been performing. So you can imagine her fans when she says, I won't perform anymore if my father's in charge. That is going to really create some outrage because her fans want to see her to continue to perform. Now, the reality is it's up to her. She has put in her time, and if she wants to take a hiatus and lead a normal life, God bless her. But she should have more impact in those decisions. That's the argument that's being made.
In the two seconds that I went to law school, it was longer than 2 seconds. So one of the big things that I learned,
a week, I think, right?
No, I think it was 2-3 months. But one of the big things that I learned right off the bat is that decisions are made in cases based on looking a lot in the past and looking at other cases. So what is the importance of what is happening, the decisions that will be made now, and how it could also impact other celebrities and other entertainers that may find themselves in similar situations in the future?
Well, you're showing me that you learned the power of precedent when you were in law school for those couple of months. That's exactly right, Shali. So you look at other cases, you look at other celebrities who have been under conservatorships, but we don't have a lot of precedent that controls Britney's situation. Part of that has to do with the fact that she grew up as social media was exploding. Not a lot of other celebrities have her exact path, but every legal struggle she had, every personal struggle, every mental breakdown was plastered all over the front page news. How would you like to be in that position? I mean, we empathize just absolutely with what's happened to her over the years, but that makes it tough to say, oh, well, let's look at the way we've done it in other cases in the past, because there isn't a lot to look at. What we do look at is her own case and how she's improved over the years. And if that's all we looked at, Shali, you can imagine a judge being very sympathetic to deciding whether or not to give her some more autonomy over her own life.
It'll be interesting to see what decision will be made. Wendy Patrick, always good to see you.
Thanks, Shali.